Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown, the largest international curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you decided to join us to watch some of the top teams from around the world participate in this event. My name is Jesse Hamonic, and I'm the Vice President and Country Head of Nutrien Ag Solutions Canada. Like farming, curling brings our communities together, and Nutrien Ag Solutions is committed to promoting the diversity of sport within the communities where we work and live. We're so grateful to the Western Showdown team for allowing us to partner with them to bring you this event, and I want to wish you all, the teams, a safe and successful event.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Curling Showdown. We're so glad you've decided to join us to come see some of the world's best curlers participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the Branch Director for RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and support of curling in our community, we're also proud to support the 2023 Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Curling Showdown, as RBC is committed to working with our community to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the community in which we live. Thank you to everyone on the organizing committee for putting this great event together. And on behalf of RBC Dominion Securities, enjoy the tournament.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
The event action for you. 7-2. It's Schwaller. Connor, if anything, perhaps a surprise to see these two teams in the B event and all. You would have thought perhaps one or even both of these teams could have qualified over the A.
Yeah, most definitely, Sean. These are two powerhouse teams that you would expect to be qualifying A side, or at least definitely challenging on the A side in a big event like this. So a little bit surprising to see them in the B event, but it gives us a really great matchup to watch tonight.
Both the men and the women on here at the same time in Swift Current. Different draws, so announcer keeps us on our toes. You're playing round robin pools on the women's side, but it is a triple knockout on the men's. Caitlin Schneider and Sam Neubrook won the two A event spots earlier today. These not yet qualifiers on the B side. The winners of these games will go into the B qualifiers tomorrow. And still a chance to see the event as well. And everyone regroups, and the 8 teams vying for the championship starting in the morning. Got rocks in play here in this opening end.
Yeah, they definitely did not hesitate to get going here in the first. Already Team Cooey sitting 3.
The tradition on tour, the two teams have a practice session before the game starts and then draw to the button for last rock. He has left in the opening end and currently sitting 3-2 behind cover.
Yeah, definitely not a situation you love to be looking at here if your team's Schwaller already in the first end at thirds rocks facing 3.
Yannick Schwaller skips the team, but Benoit Schwartz throws the fourth stone, so he's in the house now. Schwaller making his way down to the hacks. Looks like they've elected to play the short run on the yellow. Try to make the double on the key shot, second shot stone in the forefoot. Ben Michel on the right, Pablo the shot on the left, 2 brushers. Makes the run, just dead jams the second stone, only able to kill 1 red and loses the yellow run back.
Yeah, and they're almost in a worse position now, having gotten rid of that red and a yellow. They're still, Kui's still sitting 3, but now they have a chance to draw again a second one undercover and sit 4. And Team Schwaller does not have a lot of ins.
Tyler Tardy in the hacks. Young man out of British Columbia. So joined Kevin Key a couple of years ago. His team in BC was taken over by Jacques Gauthier, who I believe is also Tyler's cousin. Jacques making it to the Brier last year, joining Kevin Key's team this season. And that team out of BC this year picking up Alan Schneider to skip the team and they qualified out of the A in this event. Who skips that team? Good.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting how it all kind of comes full circle.
Well, looking to come down, sit in behind cover and maybe block the path to that stone, slides deep again. So Kevin Cooey's sitting 4, but they're all behind the tee line. Benoit Schwartz looking at trying to come sit down on the face of shot stone. And the yellow one he's about to deliver might be the only one that can.
Yeah, that was a big opportunity given to Team Schwaller here. If they can make a good freeze, really get to the nose, it's going to be tough for Kui to get that yellow one out.
Yeah, it's late in the end. He's not going to have a lot of chances to move it. We're on the brush early on this. Give it up about halfway down. This is well short.
Yeah, can't help wondering if something was maybe caught under that rock. Obviously, it's the first end, and it can be tough to read paths this early, but with the practice that you get, I'd be surprised if that just came out of his hand that light.
Another chance for Kevin Key to try to cut off the path to that stone behind the tee line.
Yeah, this becomes one of those situations where you almost have so many rocks in good spots, you just want to make sure you don't do anything that could hurt yourself.
Well, I think just the way Kevin is gesturing there, they don't necessarily want to be dead in front of shot rock now. Of course, that last stone delivered by Schwaller, the guard's a little farther over. If he splits the center, top of the 8-foot, he also takes away any chance that Benoit Schwartz might try to come down to the stone at the back of the 8. And cut the end down.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right there, Sean. If he just touches the 4-foot, or even if he's full 8, full 12-foot, splitting that center line, it's really going to put a lot of pressure on Benoit Schwartz to make a tough draw.
He could have kept the same thing Tyler Carty just attempted, but that would kind of force Schwartz to play to the back one, and you saw Kevin indicate that tapped in front of the back 8-foot stone. So really, he's trying to take that away as well here. Russia's just cleaning this a little, waiting for the line, starting to curl. It's a full top 4, but it's mostly exposed.
Yeah, mostly exposed and also deeper than they were looking for. I think they were looking for that to stop either just touching the 4-foot or even just outside the 4-foot. Now, with how much that Team Schwaller can see here, they could just play a hit and roll, and if they make it good, Cooey's got a really tough shot for a bunch of points, and he might have to just settle for the draw for 2.
I think with that much ice, he's not really looking to play this as a hit. Heavy draw. Has to get across the face of that redstone that Cooey just threw it and get under cover.
Not a position you ever want to find yourself in as a skip without Hammer throwing a very tough hit and roll against 5 in the first.
Ice line coming in. Ooh. Offside sweep at the end to try to get that last little bit of curl, and he does pop under cover. Benoit Schwartz made it as good as he could. Kevin Cooey wondering, Tyler Carty seemed to think they could still get to it. Had a chance to call a number of games here. There's lots of late movement here. You could probably get to it with a draw weight split. It's probably not there for it would be 6. But he only has to move it 2 feet straight sideways to perhaps get it 3, maybe 4. Before the shooter. With a draw weight split.
Yeah, we were talking about that late movement a lot in the previous game for the 5:45 draw, and it caught some teams a couple times, but it really does change the game and change what kind of shots you can throw. As you see Kevin putting a broom down here for what looks to be like back line, maybe hack, and trying to get as much of that yellow as possible and get it going out the side.
Helps that they get to play on ice like this fairly often, because this is the kind of shot where it doesn't look great visually from the half, but you know it'll go, and you just have to believe that and throw the rock.
Well, if there's one thing that Kevin Cooey has, it is plenty of experience on ice like this. So I feel like we're going to get a pretty good line call here on this shot.
Really curling early towards that guard. Not going to get by the long one. An outstanding final stone by Benoit Schwartz. Holds Kevin Cooey to just a single point in this opening end when it looked like the damage could be a lot worse. Schwaller with last rock when we come back to the second.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea?
Great idea.
Let's talk more about next year. I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back. Second end already underway here. Second guard going up to the start, the end just a little bit off the center line. Schwaller calls for the corner guard. Now, Eric Martin looking to throw a second center guard.
That's interesting. I don't think I see a ton of teams doing something like that. It could be because that first guard was off the center, and if you leave it a little bit higher than that, it also stops back to that corner guard as well.
I think that's something to do. It's not like these two teams haven't played each other before, and you know that both teams hit so well, play the run backs so well. Get a few extra rocks in play to prevent the blanks. Pablo Lachot, the lead, looking to come around the corner guard. Do it on the first one, comes around it on the second.
And I think you see, to your point here, with Team Cooey electing to go around this corner guard instead of under the two centers that they have, that respect for that run back and that up weight ability.
Both rushers have been on this all the way down. Not just the line, but the weight. Great job on the rushers. They bring that stone right down. Not bringing it quite down to the yellow stone, but held the line well enough that it is shot rock. That goes another inch. It's not shot rock.
Yeah, you said it, Sean. That was a heck of a sweep the entire way down the ice. Never let up on that one for a moment, and just enough to what looks to be shot rock.
Line and weight, they had to go for both. It's good to be young. To come around those two center guards. Now a lot of room by the guards, so they've got both rushers on the offside trying to get some curl. This is where you get caught a little bit. As much as you'd love to sweep it for curl, you didn't want to take it behind the tee line.
Yeah, that's one of those classic moments where you get so focused on trying to curl and get it to where you want laterally, that you forget sometimes that, it's okay if we leave it a little bit higher, even if it's open, make them make a shot. Don't give them a nice makeable freeze to kind of get the end.
This one's a long ways out there as well, and Derek Martin trying to entice it to curl a little bit. It is strong on this one as well. Comes down, nudges the yellow sideways, and the shooter will roll to the back 12. Shot rock continuing to be the yellow along Schwaller. Just fighting the back of the 4-foot now, and it is covered by the guard on the other side of the set.
Yeah, and a nice opportunity here for Sven Michel to throw the exact same shot he just threw. You know the line, you know the weight. I imagine this one's going to be just about perfect.
Better line coming in. But not quite the weight they needed. That certainly didn't look like they were ever panicked about the weight. They put the brushes down early, but it was just a clean.
Yeah, you're right. It never quite looked like they were just absolutely going on it, trying to get it the right distance. Could have been because it was in a slightly better line, maybe a newer path, and just not quite carrying as far as they would have imagined.
Tyler Tardy with a chance to come around from the other side, and this one's going to be a little short as well.
Yeah, that's a few rocks now in these first two ends that we've seen come up light and not take the line that either team was thinking. So I wonder if it's just maybe a little bit path dependent, sweep dependent. You really got to stay on top of where you've thrown, where you haven't thrown, to figure out what the ice is going to do in that spot.
For Yannick Schwaller with that last stone by Sven Michel coming up a little bit short, he has to go wide enough now to get around it. So if everything is path dependent here, he's got to change the path one more time. Line looking nice coming in. Comes to rest, corner of the 4-foot. Get in behind the stone and delivered last by Sven Michel.
Yeah, very nice job there in a line that they haven't thrown, potentially having to go a little wider, like you said, and really putting the rock in a great position.
But Kevin Cooey looking at angle run-ins.
Yeah, not a lot of options when you're looking at angle runs right now.
It is their own rock they're running in, so they're a little bit more comfortable with that. I think it's probably fair to say that the Cooey team, certainly Kevin himself, but I think all of these players are pretty comfortable playing run-ins anyway.
Yeah, you said it, Sean. Both these teams really are just so comfortable with that up weight and running rocks back. So I imagine that anytime you see either of these teams putting rocks from guards into the rings, it's going to be close.
On the sweep to hold the line here, needs to be just a little off the nose. Gets a little fortunate. hit it a little too full. You saw perhaps Tyler Cardy, you might have seen it on camera, turn around and say he was sorry, because that was a little fortunate, rubbing the red at the top of the 12-foot and still making the shot onto shot stone.
Good shot indeed, even if it was a little bit fortunate. However, still leaves Team Schwaller with a pretty makeable chance to get to that red and roll and end up sitting 2 fully buried behind cover.
It would be staggered cover. It wouldn't necessarily be anything we could run back this time. On the offside sweep now, trying to get a little curl to make sure it's through the port. Once it is, they have to straighten it out a little bit. The finish there so hard, they almost hit the outside guard, and once they made it through the port, broke too far, not able to get the roll behind covers, left room, I think, likely for Kevin Cooey to come through the port. Probably needs to throw a little bit more weight if he could make the double.
Yeah, I'd agree. They skinnied that outside red. They only had about an inch or so worth of extra space and ended up almost getting to the nose of that red rock that they were hitting. So if Cooey comes with some sort of maybe normal weight here and gets to the nose, he could probably make this double and sit in a decent spot that's not easy to hit and roll from for Team Schwaller.
Has to throw a little bit extra weight just because you saw how much that last stone finished. If Kevin Cooey makes the port and curls past the nose, he'll just jam it on the back one. Doesn't need to whip it by any means, but needs to throw enough weight that he can hold the nose once he gets through the port.
Yeah, and you see them taking a long time looking at this port. I think they're saying the exact same thing amongst themselves that, hey, you know we got a lot of space, it seems like, between that red guard and the yellow rock and the rings, but with how much this ice curls and how much these rocks curl, we got to get really close to that red in order to be able to hit the yellow on the nose.
Might be trying to get just a sliver across the nose with the double that way. Might have to do it that way. Hit this one yellow onto a thick piece of the back yellow just to make sure it goes over the top of the red at the back of the 8-foot. Offside sweep, trying to get a little extra curl now. Does drive it back. He's playing it quiet all the way. He's not looking at making the double. Jams it onto that back one solid enough that it stays the piece of the 4-foot and shot rock. He's shooting in a good position for him.
You saw just how much that rock curled in the last 6 feet. They skinny that outside red again and end up over the nose of that yellow, and they were throwing back line weight at it.
Yeah, I initially thought they'd call for more weight, try to double the 2 yellows, but I think he was worried that the yellow was always coming onto that red at the back 8. It was more about controlling his shooter. Left it in a good spot.
Question now that Team Schwaller's asking is, can we throw light enough weight to hit that red and roll behind the corners and stay and get to the right spot? Is there enough room there to throw that down weight and not end up just on the nose like Team Cooey just did?
I'm not sure they were looking at throwing it themselves. I think that they were talking about, they're worried that when they make this draw, will that leave the red onto the one they're about to throw for Kevin Cooey? That would be what I'd be worried about. Kevin left his rock in a very good spot. Usable for him and probably not so usable for fourth thrower Benoit Schwartz. Makes the draw. That's the best he could do with his.
Yeah, that really was an excellent shot. Bringing it deep enough that at least Cooey has to play something finesse and really manage that port. They didn't leave it high and let him just throw some hit weight into that angle.
I expect he's throwing close to the same weight. It's almost the exact same shot he just threw. Red onto the yellow.
Yeah, I think you're right, Sean. Just a nice, like, back 8, back line weight shot. Get right onto the nose and sit shot. And I don't really know how much Schwaller's going to have if they make that good.
That might be all the discussion that's going on right now is what do we leave? He's not going to be able to get to the nose. It doesn't need to get to the nose. He needs to get a slight angle this time. Where's his shooter going to end up? Really leave a double on the Reds.
Yeah, so I imagine this is a lot less about what the shot call is and just a lot more what weight they want to play to make sure that the shooter ends up in a spot that's not going to give Schwaller that double for points.
"13 rocks in play, 1 in the back corner, 2 left to come, and this very well could end up as a single this end." Gonna do tap, red onto yellow. Moves it enough that he sits 2, but he leave his shooter in the port where there might be a double for Benoit Schwartz, and it could be for, well, 2 for sure. I don't think he can get a shooter in far enough. Probably just for 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think your shooter's ever going far enough, but if you can make the double and miss both of those back 4 rocks, this is definitely there for 2. And I think with how much it curls, they have enough of this. It's just a matter of what weight are you comfortable throwing at it.
You have to hit Broomside a little bit with the amount of late finish there was there with the quieter weight. I don't think you have the luxury or the option of going this quiet. I think you're going to have to throw some weight. He can't get up to the nose. He's got to stay Broomside just a bit.
Yeah, so with this broom, I imagine they're throwing some form of normal or firm, like you said, a little more up weight, because you can't play this very quiet to get through that port and stay on the broom side.
Back and forth as to which brusher needs to go. Clips the stone out of the top of the... Boy, did he spin in far enough? I don't think so. I think it's still just the 2, but he came close to spinning that into the 8-foot for 3. We're going to take a look at it.
Yeah, he really did. Either way, that was a heck of a shot. Really well managed on the sweep for a definite 2. And they've looked at it enough times, I would be surprised if they didn't throw a stick on it.
Everybody wants to take a look before they start kicking them, but I think they did decide it's just the 2 points. So Schwaller with 2 big points after a nice double by Benoit Schwartz. He take the 2-1 lead. He will have last round.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual letter lamps. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at letterlamps.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Outstanding final shot once again by Benoit Schwartz. Second in to pick up two. Had a chance during the break, Connor, to take a peek at the replay on the YouTube channel. And of course, because it was spinning that way, had anybody been ready to maybe put a couple of brush strokes on that as it was rolling over, they might have been able to get it to spin into the 8-foot. I don't think anybody thought that was going to roll that close to picking up the third point. Certainly weren't ready for it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody was expecting that to get anywhere near close enough.
Didn't look like there was a chance.
Yeah, so just no one really was paying attention to it because they're like, oh, we'll throw the double, we'll get our deuce, and then you look at it after, you're like, ah, shoot, maybe we had a chance for something there.
Play here in this third end has slipped into the rings, and Kevin Cooey content to just hit away here. He wouldn't mind blanking an odd end and getting that last rock in the evens.
Yeah, he wasted no time putting the broom down for that hit, and it seems like as of right now, Schwaller's content to kind of give it to him.
If you played the rock into the rings on purpose, you were always knowing there was a chance it's going to be a blank. We don't know what the call was. We were still in the commercial break. We don't know whether they called for it into the rings. A lot of teams will. The other thing that would be interesting to see if this runs through for a blank, as we expect right now. Does Schwaller play the even ends the same as he played the odd ends? He played into the rings in the third. Does he throw the guard in the fourth?
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to be throwing a guard in the fourth end. Even with a 1-point lead, you gotta make Cooey generate some offense in the evens.
Well, I think you expect that Cooey will try to generate offensive evens. I think it's why you have to throw the center. You can't let him just play everything to the corner. You come in, and for sure he's throwing a corner guard. no time clocks being used here in Swift Current this weekend, and when there is time clock in play, you'll often see Kevin Cooley play an end like this just because otherwise he gets a little tight for time.
I was just thinking to myself, I was like, man, it's nice that they're playing quick because it's going to keep the timing up and everything, but they don't actually have to because there's no time clocks here.
Quick end might help Kevin stay warm. It looks like it's a little chilly out there. He's got the winter parka on.
Yeah, it's always fun. He brings that out every so often, and I tried to curl in a parka once. It was not my favorite thing I've ever done.
Well, it's not like they ever let Kevin sweep very hard to try to stay warm. In fact, my teams have joked with me in the past, and that might be true with Kevin's team. If they didn't need something to aim at, they wouldn't even give me a broom. This is very reminiscent of the time clock games when they're a little tight for time and trying to bank some. Kevin Cooley already made his way down to the hacks.
Yep, just trying to keep the pace of play up. It's nice to be able to look over a sheet and be like, oh hey, we're actually on pace with them, not an end and a half behind. So.
Just looking at the number of rocks in the corner on the sheet next door, we're half an inch ahead now.
Yeah, well, give it another end or so, and we'll be right back caught up.
Another end with 14 rocks in play. Catch you up in a hurry.
Tends to make the brain work a little bit harder in those ones.
Been a hard end on our producer, just catching up with the rocks now. He can't take them off the screen as fast as they've been throwing them.
That's how you know you're playing. That's how you know you're playing a good end.
Schwartz with the rollout. Kevin Cooley just has to throw his final one through for the blank. 2-1 for Schwaller, and Admiral the shot already in the hacks, just about ready to start the fourth.
I've been farming on my own right for 40 years now, I think. It's a very wholesome enterprise. You have very, very busy periods when you have to go hard. So many of our windows are so tight that you just can't afford to miss a couple days of seeding.
When a producer places their trust in us, that when it's time for them to be able to make their living, we're going to be there. That's a tremendous responsibility that is not a one-day-a-year thing, right? In order to actually deliver on that, you have to build your processes and you have to build your team and you have to have a mindset of operational excellence, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's our job to make sure that they don't go wrong. Or if they do go wrong, that we can fix it before it affects our customer.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
Kevin Toohey, Yannick Schwaller, be event action here from the Nutrien Ag Solutions Western Showdown. Line from the third. Kevin Toohey with last rock here again as we're playing the fourth. If you happen to be in the Swift Current area, want to meet with some of these teams, you might want to make your way down to a local restaurant because these two teams are playing like one of them's got late dinner reservations.
Yeah, now that you mention it, Sean, I actually went and checked when we were off air there for the commercials, and that last end took 5 minutes and 22 seconds from the time we came back from commercial and till the last rock was through the rings.
This is the fifth rock of the end here in the fourth, and all of them likely to be in play when this comes to rest, so I guess this end's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah, I don't think that that 5 minute 22 mark is going to be in danger of being broken here in this end.
Schwaller sitting 2 right now. Shot stone with one top of the 4 foot behind cover. Got Gauthier being asked to come down and try to move that stone back a little bit. This is the same spot in the ice where both teams were playing through the court in the second end, so we know there's good late movement here. They've got a lot of room.
Yeah, you see there, just like you said, right? They had a lot of room, and that late finish, that rock really came up.
Well, and the weight really came off, too. They were trying to at least get down to the face of that Yellowstone. It comes up. It is full 8 foot, but just third shot for now.
Yeah, and they seem a little bit confused about why that rock ended up so light. I wonder if that's something with the stone, or if that path just got a little bit wonky on him for that shot.
The lineup on the red-yellow good for the Coyote team, and that's the problem for Yannick Schwaller. What do you do about that with this rock?
Yeah, they got a couple options. None of them are overly appealing. They look like they've talked about hitting that open red in the back. They've talked about maybe putting something up to defend against that run back.
In the end, they've decided to hit the one in the back now. Saw Schwaller. It looked like he's indicating they're going to hit and roll to the outside. Won't be third shot if he rolls to the outside, but probably doesn't matter at this point at the end. You expect those two at the top of the 8 foot. They get moved around somehow or another before this end is over.
Yeah, I think this is just a good controlling your opponent's stones shot. You know that Team Kui is likely to play that run back at some point. And so if you can just get rid of this red in the back, now they don't have 2 rocks in the rings when they play the run, and things look a little bit nicer for you.
It's the hit. I thought the indication was they were trying to roll the other direction. But regardless, they sit shot, second, and fourth. We are looking at play on the guard now.
I think they have to. I believe you're right. I think the call was to roll a little bit away, and Sven Michel was just a little bit tight. So a very nice sweep, even to keep it off that yellow rock that they had in the top of the 4-foot there.
Not 100% sure of the call here. I thought Kevin's first indication was play the hit and roll off the guard, roll towards the corner, but he keeps looking back as though he's trying to get an idea of the line they need to hit to make contact with stuff in the ring. I don't think you can get that. Both. You're either getting the run back or the roll. You're getting the run back.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know if everyone was fully aware of what the call was, but they ended up making it about as good as they could have. So good result for Team Cooey there.
You come off your own stone into the red, fill it that way. Or the heavy draw, just tap it.
Yeah, it looks pretty skinny to come off your own, and we've talked so much about that late finish. If it goes as hard on the in turn as it does on the out turn, I imagine you could throw something like back line and get close to the nose with the in turn and just kind of pop it into the back 12 where your other couple yellows are sitting.
Doesn't look like a lot of ice, but he's counting on this rock running very straight early, and then all the movement's going to be late.
Yeah, even with all that late movement, I'm surprised at how little ice this is. They have to be throwing a decent amount of weight, maybe trying to get it to go through the yellows instead of straight back.
Maybe just tipping it home. Like that.
Ooh.
Certainly didn't look like the easy way to play it, but he made it.
Yeah, just with a hair to spare on that back 8-foot yellow. Now I imagine Cooey will elect to play some form of hit and roll.
Two guards, both belong to Kevin Cooey. Can roll behind either one. Rolls toward the one closest to center. He's got a chance to double out the stone at the back of the 8-foot. But he necessarily has to play that. He could select the roll behind the corner too.
Yeah, they talked about throwing down weight like Borden. I think Tyler actually convinced him to throw a little more like normal and try to move 2 of the yellows out of the rings here.
There's Martin on the inside rush on this right away. Just to try to hold the line, drives it by the 2 stones to the back of the rings and rolls past the guards. Seems to be Schwaller sitting one at the back of the 8-foot. So just delivered his second shot. Schwaller looked to make a play on it. Didn't seem to indicate whether they wanted to roll or not. He might be content to just put on the nose here.
Yeah, I think nose is okay. I believe they called to roll a 4-foot about edge on edge to half buried under that red guard.
Yeah, the danger here being if you ever tried to roll dead buried, the chance you're also going to be behind the tee line.
Yeah, so I think the plan is to roll as far as you can and stay top 4-foot and see how buried you can get.
No, it stays in the top quarter of the button. It's a lot easier for us to know what they're going to do. Kevin puts his hands up there and shows us exactly how far he wants to move it.
Does take a little bit of the guesswork out of it, that's for sure.
Now, when you're used to player mics, when you have a game like this where you don't have the luxury of being able to hear the players, you forget just how much you have to guess a little bit what they're playing.
Again, in that spot, you see that really, really late hard break.
A little tighter by that guard than they would have liked. Great job by the Brushers to hold the line enough that he stays in behind cover.
And if you were going to show Team Schwaller a side of this redstone, they did show them the side you'd like to, just because then they got to be a little careful about running it back into those yellows that are in the back 8-foot.
Yeah, I think they're still coming around to the outside side to move it.
Agreed. With how hard we've seen that rock finish, I don't know if you could bury anything far enough on that outturn side.
Like he can't throw enough weight to remove it from the rings, but he just has to get it to touch the 12-foot, and he'd be sitting. Should be 3 with a shooter after this is done. Has to be a little careful with the roll, not to leave a triple. As soon as they're by the guard, they'll sweep from the offside to get that last curl, every inch they can get. Does push it into the 12-foot, but I think he did leave a triple.
Yeah, it's definitely there. It's not easy, but with the weight that Kevin Cooey can throw, anytime there's 3 rocks in the rings, the chance of a triple is there.
Pretty close to a dead nose hit. The first one. Good weight. Just clip the stone that's on the center line. That's the front edge of the other one, and the first stone should spin out with as lively as these stones out.
Yep, get your watches out, everybody, because I imagine this one is going to be a heater coming down the ice.
For the nose hit, drives it straight back, catches one, catches the other. With the big weight, first Yellowstone spins all the way out to the side. Maybe just hangs on for a bite of the 12-foot, but it's 4th shot. He's sitting 2.
Now a little bit of decision time here for Team Schwaller and Benoit Schwartz. What to do with this redstone, and more importantly, what to do with your shooter once you hit this redstone.
I think that curl that we've seen around the guard kind of dictates for you. It's so hard to hit and roll behind cover into a spot that they can't get it out. So they're looking at playing the hit on the shot stone, one at the top of the 4-foot, trying to roll past the guard over in the direction of the second shot stone. hoping you can make it a little trickier for Kevin Cooey to get this out, or perhaps make it lead you a double.
Yeah, and if you could ever get frozen on that redstone, then you're probably looking at a force if you could ever get that far over.
If you get frozen on the redstone, Kevin Cooey's drawing.
Yep. I have to be very careful with the sweeping on this, where the spot goes as hard as it does.
It's the hit by the Yellowstone at the back. Now where does the shooter end up? It's about a quarter in front of the redstone. Kevin Cooey to remove it. He's going to have to roll a little bit to the outside. He doesn't have a lot of room there where he can roll and still be shot rock.
Yeah, definitely a finesse shot here, especially in a spot that hasn't been played a ton yet this game, especially out this far. So sweepers will definitely need to keep their brooms down and make sure that they're ready to go straight or curl, depending on what they need.
You might not mind if he rolls full 12, even over to the edge of the 12, the third shot, because if Benoit Schwartz with his final stone has to make a hit on the red one behind this, it'll be tough for him not to leave a cross house double. Kevin made that shot a time or two.
That is true. I do think this is Kevin's last rock. I think this is the last down at the end.
I've lost track. I've lost track of the rocks this time.
But if there were 3 rocks left, I think that was a great idea.
And that last little bit of curl. Good job by the brushers. Nice throw by Kevin Cooey. He does pick up his deuce. Retakes the lead. It'll be Cooey with a 3-2 lead as we go into the 5th. Schwaller with last rock.
I've got the bill.
Well, now I've got the tip.
Standard tip increased 2% this year.
That's why I keep you around. So, corn's looking great.
Well, our crop plan is working.
And we locked in that input financing at the perfect time.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough?
Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea?
Great idea. Let's talk more about next year. I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial, financing that's in the field with you.
Four ends in the books here in this NP event action, and if you count the single point in the first hit, we've only got 3 lead changes. Center guard going to start up this end. They'll come around to the top 8. Now you see Kirk Martin's second stone following that stone down, sitting on top of it. Pablo Lachak being asked to draw to the corner with his second stone.
Yeah, this is something I talked about in the earlier draw today. This is something that I've seen a lot more on tour in the last year or so for teams that have hammer in close games. They throw the first rock under that center guard, and then their second rock after the other team makes the freezes, they go this back quad rock, which really puts the team without hammer in a tough situation where they really have to decide, do we want to let the team with hammer sit 2, or do we have to make a play on this rock we can see?
A little bit of panic rush on that one as it was coming across the hog line, as we are playing the no tick zone rule here, and they had to make sure they got past the red guard. And they moved it, it would have been a violation of the rule, and that rock would have come out. The guard would have gone right back to where it is now. And again, talking about the late finish, they just barely got by that center guard, and look where the rock ended up on the D line.
Yeah, these rocks really do finish up if you let them. So.
Jacques Gauthier trying to follow Eric Martin down, would like to sit on top of those 2 stones at the top of the rings. It's up a little bit short. It is another center guard, but the angle's not lining up for 52.
Yeah, and that does give Schwaller the opportunity here to come in, sit 3, I believe, and really make Team Cooey work to get some of these rocks out of the rings.
Rushers staying close, but they're waiting on the curl. They'd like to get as tight coming by that redstone as they can, and now looking for that last bit of curl as it comes into the 4-foot.
And again, as we talked about with those rocks not lining up super great for Team Cooey, they got to make a decision. Looks like they're gonna elect to try to go red, 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 and just get some of these yellows moved.
Going for curl early. This makes it a little bit full. Very thin on the first guard, drives it by everything. Two reds at the top of the ring, still only lined up to catch 1 yellow stone. Still this surprise.
Yeah, and a rare chance here for Team Schwaller to, after that missed run back, to end up sitting 4 after this.
They're playing the center guard with last rock.
Yeah, I always say it's a little bit scary to be throwing center guards when you have the hammer, especially if you're doing it on seconds rocks, but in a situation like this, you can't do much better for yourself.
have to believe the only reason Kevin Cooley is hesitating at all this time, the red or yellow rock is running back this time. Red into yellow is not any difference now than it was on the last attempt.
It's close.
Move one yellow back, and enough to get it through the rings, but leaves Schwaller sitting 2 and eliminated both of his own reds at the top of the house.
Yeah, this definitely looks a lot better for Team Cooey. Even though they didn't end up getting more than one yellow out, this situation is a lot better than what it was one shot ago.
They're still in some trouble. There's nothing overlap now, so he's going to have some kind of either run back or a direct shot. Schwaller will be looking to get about half around the guard. Use a shooter to protect the stone in the forefoot as well. Sit 3 here.
Yeah, you also saw them looking at that yellow corner guard to potentially see about splitting that on. I don't know if they do that quite yet, but potentially later on in the end, that's something to definitely be aware of.
This has got a lot of curling to do. They didn't dare sweep it to help it as it was getting tight to the stone and forefoot as it was. I think they curled enough. Did everything they were looking to do. Buried a piece of it. Covered a piece of the shot stone.
And again, no easy shots for Team Cooey in this position.
You have to run back again. Did come down with the out turn. I guess it would be the injured Tyler Carty, the left-hander. Try to tap that stone back. Where your shooter stays, you would probably be third shot anyway. I don't think they're going to look to move this through all the way through the 8-foot.
Yeah, and that is what they elected to go with here. Just trying to move this yellow rock somewhere to the tee line or just behind the tee line. Keep your red in a position that is a little bit dangerous and uncomfortable for Team Schwaller, and hope to set yourself up something for later in the end.
Could be 2 yellow rocks behind this red one, makes it tough to remove, but this one's a long ways out there as well. Sweeping for curl. Going to just rub the stone that was just delivered. Shooter will roll across the edge of the 8-foot. Schwaller sitting 2. There's a bit of a pocket there, though, so he can't really just ignore his own stones to hit that stone that was just delivered. If he does that, there's a chance for Cooey to draw into the pocket. I don't know about those yellow stones. You almost have to get there first.
Yeah, you'd love to hit that red one and sit 4 because it feels great to sit 4, but I think this is really smart of them, recognizing that if they were to make a play on that red rock, Team Cooey is going to just come play a freeze or a little bump, and now they're kind of out of the end. So if you beat him there and you end up sitting 3, Cooey's got not a lot left in this end.
More important to be sitting 2 or 3 at the end of the end than to be sitting 4 at third stones.
Exactly. I coach a couple of different junior teams, and that is something that we really try to emphasize, is that it doesn't really matter if you're sitting 3 or 4 with seconds or third stones, just like you said, if the other team ends up taking 1 by the time the end's over.
Third stone in a row coming down this path that a long ways out there across the hog line now. They do some direction to sweep and get some curl on that one as well. And gets back to the center line. Just fourth shot for now, but it takes the pocket away.
And again, you always try to look at what the opponent has, and if I'm Team Cooey and you see how they're looking at it, they do not have a lot.
Probably get to the second shot stone. The intern side. Move it back. Really, whatever you're playing here is just about trying to set yourself up to have something with the last, which is going to play the cold freeze by the looks of it. The out turn.
Yeah,
shot rock.
Yeah, I think you're right. That is a scary looking proposition. You're a little bit heavy or a little bit light or the line's not quite right. This is definitely a shot you got to make pretty perfect.
Even if you make it, I think you're still favored.
Yeah, I think you're right. And again, if you don't make it dead perfect, I think Team Schwaller's going to have some shot to sit a bundle.
Yeah, you should not afford to roll off this at all. Chop off this at all, and you might do a double to 6. Boy, looks like it's going to be 5. Lots of room coming in, but you know these are going to finish hard. Can't afford to rub the stone that was just delivered either, and did. So that might have worked out for them.
Yeah, they ended up rubbing it with not a lot of weight, so it ended up just flopping over a little bit, and it's not a rock that I think Team Schwaller can hit comfortably.
Well, it's high enough now that he with his last one could run it in on an angle and maybe get shot rock out of it.
I would agree.
Schwartz get to the nose of the stone that Schwaller just threw and tap it back a few inches and maybe take away that angle tap. Be tough. It might be there, but that rock is 2/3 to 3/4 buried right now.
And I think you're seeing Sven just talking about that right now. If they just moved it, like you said, 2 inches, it probably takes that shot away. My other thought was, what happens if you just throw a guard up on that side and see what Team Cooey's gonna do?
Kevin comes off the yellow one that's just under the rings into the red and makes it that way.
Yeah.
And then your guard's in the way, your end's gone, and guard's in the way.
Yeah, you're right. I do think you got to make a play on this somewhere. I think that tap is probably your best call.
They played this turn the whole end. They know how it's going to run. Certainly, you can get to the nose of that rock. It may not look great from the hacks, but you know it'll go.
Plenty of discussion time here to make sure they get to the right call.
Looks like they're looking. I think they're still playing that shot, but it looks like they're going to play it from the other turn.
Interesting. It's how hard it finishes on this out-turn side and how many rocks they've thrown down it. I'm a little surprised they aren't throwing that turn, but
They make it from
they
the turn as well. They just need to get just a sliver underneath the red, and he doesn't have a chance to run it into shot rock.
yeah, like you said, you only got to move it about an inch for it to be really, really good.
Probably need to move it 4 inches to have third shot, I think. By the front one, so now they switch the sweep to get close to the nose. The taps it up into the pocket.
And that is
3.
Yeah, Schwaller's sitting 3, and that is an absolute wall of yellows there that Kevin Cooey is looking at.
You know, he might be able to get 2 of them to go away. The problem is he's going to leave a double on the red, so it would still be for 3 or 4. I don't know if you play it. I don't know if they'll even look at it. You might be able to play hit on your own red stone. The edge of the forefoot and roll to the back of the button. Not sure how Sports gets at it then. And there might be a shot. It depends how the angles sit when it's done.
Yeah, they really do not have a lot of great options.
Could make it off the yellow on the other side as well. There's the yellow just behind the T line. Hit and roll again. Back button.
Yep.
Be a double off the stone at the edge of the 8 for the other side. Blast the red at the top of the 8 foot. You might be able to make a triple on the 3 yellows, but you're going to lose the red, the run back stone. Hard to make that and not leave a double for 3.
Yeah. I think I
I'm
like.
not guaranteed all 3 of them go either.
Yeah, and obviously this is why they're taking so much time to talk through this, because they know this is a really big moment in this game. I still kind of like what you said about rolling off either the back T-line red or the back T-line yellow and trying to roll the back button, because as much of a wall as there is there for Team Schwaller, none of them are individual rocks that can be moved back with any.
Yeah, they can overlap a little.
So yeah, like kind of what Cooey just did right there. If you could just roll where his broom was to back button, even if your second shot, I don't think that there's a yellow in a good place to run back into it.
It's not going to be a comfortable throw, I'll tell you that. I don't mind suggesting it. I wouldn't want to have to throw it. Let's put it that way.
I'm right there with you. I don't think anyone's super happy about having to throw that, but looks like they're maybe coming to settle on running this red back with some kind of weight.
You're going to run it. The other question is, how do you want to hit it? Try to hit it nose or close to nose, as I suggested, to see if you move all 3 reds. Or the other option is hit the red as thin as you can. Try to drive it directly into the one that was just raised up. Leave it right there. Probably only killing 1 yellow. Might leave 2 of them out of the forefoot. And you're hoping it stays in front of the other one.
The other thing to think about too, if you run this red in, is because that middle yellow isn't frozen to either of the other two yellows, if you get a little unlucky with the angle you run it back at, it could just go right between them and leave yellow sitting 2 with an in-turn draw to the forefoot for 3.
It's hard to say whether there's a way to miss those two or not. I think Kevin now looking at, and I had mentioned it earlier as a possibility if they do the guard, he's looking in off from the yellow guard to bring his shooter into the red at a different angle.
And the nice part about that too is if you were throwing it with some weight because of that angle change, your shooter would stay, which could potentially eliminate 2 of those yellows that are kind of outliers in the 8-foot right now. The other thing you got to think about with how long it's been taking to decide this shot is once you do end up deciding on a shot, the ice has been sitting now for a good couple of minutes, and so you're going to want to get a really good clean in and be really aware that some frost could build up with the time it's taken to come to a decision here.
If you looked at the run on the guard too, I don't see anything good coming out of that. The angles in the house, really for the most part, all the angles in the house facing favoring Yannick Schwaller right now. I don't even see an obvious way to kill 2.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been looking at this for just as long as they have, and it seems like both parties have come to the conclusion that there's no good shots for Team Cooey here.
Looks like he's going to play it as the angle hit, try to stuff this redstone onto the yellow that was just tapped up.
Yeah, and like I said, if you make it good, I think you're gonna cut them down to 3, which you're not happy about, but with what the alternatives are right now, I think getting away with 3 is about as good as you can do.
I'm not sure I know what weight they're looking to play here. He's got to hit this paper thin. That always looked like a lot of ice for the weight that he was going to have to play. Almost made the shot that I had suggested. Ends up rolling just a little bit too far. So Schwaller's sitting 3 right now. Chance to draw for 4. Could come off his own. How greedy are you, Connor? Do you ever play a nose hit on the red, or actually just across the nose, just to the center line side of it? Red onto yellow, onto that red that just rolled over at the back. Both reds leave. You might lose one of the reds, or one of the yellows, but it's for 5.
I see what you're saying, because it's for 5. It's potentially for 6 if you hit it.
If you hit it so that you stick the yellow. If you get the red one by the yellow at the top of the forefoot, there's no way the yellow in the second yellow is going by the stone at the back of the foot. You can't hit it thick enough to drive it by.
I would agree. I think the hard part is it's so precise. I don't think the difference between 4 and 5 is worth it for only getting 3. So I like this call here. Just play the draw, get your 4, and
I don't think they're playing it as a draw. I think they're coming off their own.
Which is probably a better idea with how long that last shot took to decide. You're not going to have a good idea what the ice is going to do, so play something a little more higher percentage.
Comes across into that red stone at the back of the 4 foot, does stick for 4. A long end, but worth it for the Schwaller team. They pick up 4 big points here in the 5th end and take a 3-point lead into the 6th.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon LED lights from Letterlands. Choose your new neon mixed doubles partner or make a statement with a neon curling rock in your window. Also actual Letterlands. Use discount code WHOA for 15% off. Only at Letterlands.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like. Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
SwiftCurrent is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about SwiftCurrent is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like SwiftCurrent. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
SwiftCurrent is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Well, picking up 4 points in the 5th end certainly simplifies the decisions for the Schwaller team here at the beginning. They bring the first stone into the 4 foot area. It is deep. Bring the second one in as well. Corner guard thrown. Anytime by Carolyn Martin. And 7-2 looking at the second corner now on the other side.
Yeah, really go time here for Team Cooey. Down 3 in the 6th end. They needed 2 to, I think, stay competitive throughout the rest of this game. So you see them throw the split corners, and they're going to go pretty hard for their points in this end.
Two stones in the 4 foot. Now they guard it with the third stone of the end. 5th stone of the end overall. So we could make a play on the guard now. Not going to make a play to kill it for sure, but we can afford to play a little tighter coming around these guards, and he clips it. Wouldn't be a violation of the no-tick zone. Still get a shooter in behind cover as well. So they'll play this fairly aggressively to try to get to the nose of that shot stone.
Yeah, you can definitely play this pretty tight to the guard because if you, like you said, if you sliver it and end up behind your own corner guard, that's okay.
It's okay now. Had you done it earlier in the end, that would be a violation of no tick. And just feather ticks it.
And that's the hard part when you play a shot like that. It actually spun back up for him, which is good. But if you do that and you're like, yeah, if we tick it, it's fine. And then you just feather it like that, it can be really difficult to get anything out of it sometimes.
It's still a guard and you didn't get buried. Still hard for Sven Michel to do much about it. So they're just going to come down, sit on top of the situation. Can't deal with that redstone without losing one of the yellows. The yellow's in a pretty good spot. Spaces right now. It's 3 yellows in the rings in pretty good spots.
And the hard part for Team Cooey here is obviously you'd love to be patient and use those corner guards that you threw up, but with the number of yellows that are on the center line in the 4-foot with a guard in front of them, and you see it here, they have to make a play because they just can't wait any longer and let Team Schwaller build up more rocks.
Makes the tap, moves the shot stone back behind the button. Hard to say who shot rock now, actually.
Yeah, my guess is that it's red, but I also don't think it's going to be red for that much longer.
2 reds close to side by side. It is certainly possible with big weight to double the 2 reds. You'll lose the 1 yellow behind it. You can hit this one thick enough to make sure you still kill the red. It is going to jam on the yellow and still come across and hit that other red out the side.
And I think
to throw the weight.
Yeah, and I think something else they talked about, I don't think they're calling it, but I think they talked as well about playing something more like normal. Get this red on the nose or just a little high side of nose and roll them to the skips right just a little bit together and keep your yellow rock on top of both of those reds so that you can get it out later on.
Little extension on the release, big weight here. It's a hit on the red. Comes across, does catch the second one, and with that big weight, when he actually get off this stone, does remove the second one from the rings as well. It stays in play. Waller sitting 2.
Just a Yeah, just a really nice display of that up weight by Schwaller there. Does give Cooey a little bit more breathing room with a few less yellows in play and definitely less yellows touching the center line, but not an easy situation even still.
Had to wait on that rock to get off the corner guard. Comes to rest in the 12-foot. Third shot for now. Difficult for Waller to remove it though. Guarding the redstone just so that we can't promote it.
Yeah, I think the conversation here is that you don't want red rocks around if your team's Schwaller, so you'd love to be able to hit it in some capacity, but the angles are not set up super great for you. So if you throw up a guard, it becomes a rock that's not super useful to Team Cooey. That red rock is a promotion rock, and they might have to waste some stones getting rid of the guards that you're putting up.
that'll really be what the conversation's about. They discuss the guard right away. All the discussion after that will be, okay, but if we throw that guard, what's Kevin going to do? Are we missing something? Is he leaving anything that we're not seeing?
Yeah, especially when you're playing a team like Kevin Cooey that you know can make all the shots and can make more than all the shots sometimes.
Shots you're
You
not
really,
yeah, they aren't the first ones you're looking at.
yeah, you really need to cover all your bases and make sure you've looked at every angle that they might have a way in. I think a good note to this, even though they decided to end up throwing the guard, they did try to play it to be corner frozen on their other yellow guard to make sure that Cooey wouldn't be able to peel out just one of them.
I think part of that too was that they didn't want to leave the option for the yellow onto red, and as it turns out, he gets by his own guard and probably queued up yellow onto red on the yellow.
Yeah, so a little bit of a gift here to Team Kevin Cooey. See
Yeah,
if they can.
He doesn't have to play it yet. Like, it's almost unmissable now.
Yeah, so you might.
He's looking to see if he could find something else to play for now.
I was gonna say you might see him make a play on that yellow rock that's about a quarter buried behind the red corner guard. Try to hit that and roll under the corner and have that for points later.
I think the discussion then they're going to make the play on that Yellowstone at the edge of the 8 foot. Again, we can't hear them. There are mics out at ice level, so when they stand close to one of them, you can hear a little bit. But I wonder if Kevin's thinking, instead of rolling towards the 4 foot, is he thinking about trying to roll under the corner guard?
Well, that was my first thought when I saw where the rocks came to rest, because the worry if you roll towards the 4 foot is that's where all these runbacks later in the end are going. So if you roll under this corner, you're going to sit, second and third, and then that yellow-red that was lined up by Team Schwaller on their last isn't going to get affected by your rock in the 4 foot anyway.
That broom gesture with Kevin, and he's made that a couple times, looks like he's thinking of a wide intern. I just don't know what he's got with a wide intern. Not sure where he's looking at going here.
I think they're trying to. Yeah. He said back 12, though. I don't think they're throwing much weight at this. Curious to see where this red guard's going to end up going.
Takes the tap, catches that stone at the edge of the 8 foot, and rolls to the back of the button. He is shot rock.
Is shot rock. I'd be curious to know
I'm not sure that he would
if that.
necessarily improve the situation a whole lot.
Trying to see if that yellow, red, yellow goes over the top of the red, and I believe it does. So I think that red ended up in a good spot for Team Cooey.
Off the yellow onto that red stone at the back of the button. The yellow pretty thick. I don't think you can see enough if it's still partly covered by that red corner guard.
I think this is a very good call with how much this spot's been curling. If they can get to that yellow, even close to the yellow, with back 4 to back 8 weight, they're going to be in such a tough position for Team Cooey to do anything about.
Really, this is the only way to change the angle on that yellow, red, yellow combination. Can't do anything really with the top two rocks, so trying to do something with the back one. Not able to get by the front one. Now they have to make sure they get by it in the rings just so they don't leave the in-off double. Cooley sitting shot at the back of the button. Second, third, and fourth all belong to Schwaller. Probably still see enough of that yellow to play the yellow, red, yellow combination in the middle. Probably stays buried as well. But Kevin's 100% sure that it goes by the stone at the back of the button.
I think that is the worry. If they have to hit the yellow rock a little thinner than they might have liked, I think the worry is going to be, where is that red going into the yellow top 4 foot, and is it going to miss the red that's in the back of the button?
Drag if he has to go thin and the red comes across the top of the yellow.
The other conversation that they might be having here too is what weight to play it with to potentially keep your shooter sticking around in the 12 foot to give yourself a shot for some extra points with his next.
He's worried about hitting the yellow one thin, and I saw Derek Martin just indicate that the other options he could nose the guard. Yellow onto red.
Yeah, that'll definitely drag the red low enough on the top 4 yellow that it'll miss the back red. It's just going to be how far will it drag, and is it going to roll to a spot that's potentially dangerous and gives Team Schwaller a double.
Just 3 stones left to come. Trying to decide what to do with his first here.
That was an interesting idea he just showed there, where it looked like they were almost talking about freezing to that top 4 yellow.
think in the end they're going to have to play that yellow-red-yellow combination. Some of the debate's going to be about exactly how hard do we hit it. If Kevin's worried about it rubbing the stone at the back of the button on the way by, he doesn't want to lose that stone for sure.
Yeah, like you said, it's definitely very close, and I think they're split a little bit that Tyler's convinced that it'll go over and Kevin's not quite so sure. It could be one of those situations though where you have to throw it anyways. You got to throw it on this one or the next one. So
it might not be any good on the next one if you're not going to kill the yellow one. If you're just going to move it back, you have to play it now.
yeah, so because of that, because you're not going to get it later, I think you got to play it now and just hope you read the angles correctly. I'm reading the chat here on the on the YouTube, and I was told to get my timer out to see if this conversation is going to rival the one we had an end ago. So I'll keep you updated, everybody that's watching.
We had an end earlier in the game that probably went quicker than the shot's going to.
Yeah, some of these conversations, I mean, it's big moments, so you want to make sure you get to the right call. Again, I have the chat from the YouTube stream up here. Someone asked, why not just play in off of one of the yellows that's in the 8-foot? I think the worry, if you play that, is even if you make it perfect, then Schwaller can play that yellow-red-yellow combo we've been talking about all end.
Yeah.
And it would kill both the reds, and Cooey's end would be over.
May not even have to play that either. Play in off either of the yellows. While he could see half the yellow at the top of the forfeit, he could still play that same tap up that he tried on his last one. Tap up that throws him. It's that stone at the top of the forefooot that he really needs to deal with. It's the stone causing the problem, and it's the stone that Yannick Schwaller could use with his last one to take everything away. So they've elected to play the yellow, red, yellow. Quiet wait. Once they know they're by, looking for a little extra curl, and it did drag that little bit, comes across the top of the yellow, pushes it back into the, would have been into the red stone if he'd had enough weight. Might have left himself an in-off double. Could be for 3. Might jam on the stone at the edge of the 8-foot. Might only be for 2.
Hard part there is I think Team Schwaller sees that as the real chance that Team Cooey has for multiple points, and they're just going to lob a guard up somewhere close and take it away from them and basically make this end over with.
I would venture to guess we might be 5 or 6 minutes away from this being over with.
For those watching and wondering what the time was for that call, I had it at 5.5 minutes. So we're getting faster on those calls, which is nice.
Think Benoit Schwartz is going to take as long here. They've already decided on the shot. They need to guard the double. The discussion now becomes, because this is a path you don't throw a lot in the game. You're coming across the center line to throw a corner guard really at the edge of the forefoot. They probably haven't played this shot yet in the game.
I would agree. And again, as we talked about earlier, when teams take a long time to make decisions on shots like that, the ice can tend to get a little bit frosty. So you're going to see the sweepers here keep their brooms down almost the entire way to make sure that nothing funny happens with this rock.
You think for curl here, this has still got a lot of room. It's going to be on the center guards yet. Not going to get off it enough to maybe roll over there. Well, if that double was there, it's still there. The sliver of that rock is under cover. It's fairly thick to make the double. The question, that'll be the question. Can he hit it thick enough with the weight he needs in a flat double?
I think he does, because I believe he has to hit it thinner than you would think, because he's got to go into the side of the yellow that's top button. He can't go over the top of it for risk of it going into the red back button. So it's thinner than you think.
I don't think, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't think you can put it thick enough to come over the top enough to drive it into red. My concern would be if you come directly into the side of the yellow, if you jam it into that Yellowstone off the edge of the 8-foot, this is still only for 2 there. There's no way you're coming to the top of that Yellowstone without jamming it backwards. If you could come into the side of that yellow, push it into the yellow at the side, still only get 2. I think it would be beating out the stone from the top of the 4-foot.
I would agree.
I
I think
sure Kevin will have some weight here. The flat roll, no matter how you look at it. Going to have to go just to get by the guard and the rub. And through the back. So just going to be the single point for Kevin Cooley. Does close to within 2. It'll be Schwaller with a 2-point lead in last rock in the routine play in the 7th.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Well, what do y'all think? Too blue? Not blue enough? Try this.
Makes your eyes pop.
This could be our best yield yet.
And didn't we get this seed at a great financing rate?
Yeah, we did.
Iced tea?
Great idea. Let's talk more about next year.
I got some thoughts.
And I've got some numbers.
Nutrien Financial. Financing that's in the field with you.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Light up your love for curling with our customizable neon.
Well, I suggested earlier when they were playing so quick that somebody might have a late dinner reservation. I guess they had called ahead and canceled that reservation now. And Cooley down 2 as we begin play here in the 7th without last rock. He's been playing with a lot of rocks in play. You've got to expect he's going to want to continue that now, needing to steal. Played the center guard on the first one, the higher center guard here in the second one. Come around the 10-5 combo, the shot into the back of the 4-foot. He didn't want that deep.
Yeah, Sean, I think when they heard you say dinner reservations, they thought you meant tomorrow night. not tonight. So still plenty of time to make them if they're tomorrow.
Winner of this game moves into a beat qualifier at 11:15 local time tomorrow morning. But the loser still has a longer path through the C event if they're going to qualify, so they might not have the chance for dinner reservation tomorrow night.
Well, one can only hope.
Pardon me, nice come around by Pablo Shot with the second one coming to the top of the button for Shot Rock. Got Gauthier being asked to come around. Sit on the face of that and you move it back a few inches.
Yeah, just trying to get rocks into good spots in this end is I'm pretty sure Team Schwaller will be throwing the double peel on their next shot regardless of where this ends up.
It's going to be a long decision here.
If they need it, I'll give them 5.5 minutes if they need to take some time to decide.
It'll be the only decision. Which turn do you want to throw? Which one can you throw harder?
Exactly right. You're going to be moving a lot of granite, so pick one.
It just drives it by the second stone, rolls the shooter out of play.
Not ideal to only get the one rock, but you know that your whole goal in this end is to just score a point, or at the very worst, give up a steal of one. So going rock for rock with them right now is not the end of the world.
Kevin Dewey could have liked to throw another center guard, but you don't want to give him too many chances at the double peel, so he's going to come right in, try to tap that redstone up. Frozen. Not able to by the guard, though. This chips off. That's another one of those shots where that's the worst possible result.
And I wonder if it's not something with that stone. I feel like his first stone is over curled about half the time in this game. So that might be something for them to look at later after the game.
I thought Yannick would simply walk up and peel the guard. Peel from the left-hand side as we look at facing the house and have your shooter come across, try to kill the one that was just thrown. He's going to make a play on the his shot stone. Don't mind, in fact, probably would prefer to kill his own stone at the back of the 4-foot with it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a little surprised it wasn't just an immediate peel call, because you know that Kevin Cooey is going to be using that center guard that he has and going under it with this next one. That red that was top 4 didn't feel like it was very consequential to me.
Not by itself, certainly. To come around, they get full 8-foot, but stays out in the open again. This time looking to simply feel the guard.
Yeah, a little more comfortable now knowing that you're shot stone and they have to make a play here. They can't just guard their shot stone the whole time, so not surprising to see them decide to peel this.
We now will look to replace the guard maybe a little further over and protect that stone at the top of the 8-foot for now. So we're going by the microphone. I think Derek Martin said this is halfway.
Seems to be good enough to do the job that they need.
I knew that Schwaller was likely going to feel this guard anyway. The key there was to leave it high enough you don't need anything to even think about playing a double.
Yeah, I thought about that as well. I think at this point, if you're Team Schwaller, you're just gonna replace. You're gonna peel guards as long as Team Kui wants to replace them, understanding that eventually they're gonna have to play a tap, and you should have some sort of hit, or you'll have a draw to the T line, and because really your whole goal here is to score a point.
Makes the peel. Kui looking to come into the rings now. Looks like the call here. They're going to try to come around their own stone at the top of the 8-foot. Not really dead buried. They don't want to use a double like that, but get to the top of the 4-foot in a position where this young Schwaller might have to risk jamming it onto the stone at the back. Try to hit it directly, and the double's not going to be an automatic. All you got to work with.
Yeah, at this point, you're really just looking for anything that's going to impede the vision of Benoit Schwartz when he throws these next two rocks and just hope that something kind of gives him a weird angle or gets in his way a little bit.
This is certainly not where they cap the ice. It's over curling. It's up a little short as well. You work with the guard.
Yeah, and you can see Kevin not happy with that, even right when he let go of it.
Well, the saving grace, I guess, if you're Kevin Kui, you've got Benoit Schwartz throwing a draw here. You don't have a lot to work with now, so you're hoping to give you something.
Yeah, there's always a chance that it ends up back house and gives you some sort of opening, but I don't think they're ever going to be heavy on this.
I didn't expect him to be heavy, but if he leaves it out in the open, he might leave him room to roll in behind. Boy, how good is that? Third buried behind a foot behind the stone in the top of the 8-foot. It's a third buried.
Yeah, I really don't think you could go down and place that stone any better than they did.
He always got left. Really looks like it's going to be that angle run in. His own stone just fighting the top of the 12-foot. If he can stuff it on the back one, he will be shot rock. buried behind staggered stones.
Big shot here for Kevin Cooey. Gotta make this one to keep the game alive, I would think.
On the brush early. Looking to angle his own stone back. Has to stay on the outside of it a bit. He's going to over curl. He gets to the nose. Drives it straight through. Yannick Schwaller already sitting 2 with the opportunity to draw for 3, but Kevin Cooley not going to make him throw it because 2 points is enough. You're already 4 up coming home. We're going to shake hands, go back to the hotel, and get ready to play tomorrow. Yannick Schwaller, strong performance for their team in that big 4-ender really helped them. They'll move on to a B qualifier tomorrow morning. We will have all of the action tomorrow. 5 draws starting at 8 a.m. local time, right here on the SaskTel Curling Stadium. And the championship round, both men's and women's action will be on Sunday. My name is Sean Joyce. I want to thank you for joining us on behalf of myself and my partner tonight, Connor Kaufman. Wish you a good night. We'll look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow.
We feed the world with Nutrien, and a large portion of what our job is to get fertilizer out with the carriers so they can get directed to the farms or to the different retail locations. We know that if we don't have the answer to something, we're not afraid to reach out because we have support from everyone. We've got a really good team behind us.